Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We're excited to have one of our partners with us, ProCat. Tim will be presenting on comparing order picking technologies for food distribution companies. And just as a reminder, we are recording this webinar and we will post it to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And we encourage you to ask questions during our presentation, so please feel free to type them into the questions box, and we will get them answered during our Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I'm going to turn it over to Tim to kick off our presentation.
Okay, Angie, thank you, and thanks for joining us. As Angie said, introducing myself here, I'm Tim Stipp, Director of Marketing at ProCat. And we'll be talking to you today about different picking technologies that will help your food distribution operation eliminate picking errors. Introducing the company, introducing ProCat. The company was started back in 2001 with the purpose of improving performance in distribution centers. We do this using cost-effective barcode scanning technology and have developed over 14 different solutions that support various functions in the warehouse, including receiving, customer order picking, loading, shipping, and more. The leadership team, led by our founder and CEO, Steve Stommel, comes from a distribution background with over 150 years combined experience. And ProCat's technology supports warehouses in over 40 states around the United States, which you can see illustrated there on the map. Today's agenda, we'll get into focusing on where mistakes happen inside the warehouse. We'll identify the sources of these claims. We will compare 4 types of order picking technologies. And we'll take a few minutes to talk about PickRight, which is ProCat's picking technology and why it's been so helpful to so many companies around the country. So let's start. Where do mistakes happen? We've studied this over thousands of claims, hundreds of distribution centers, and we consistently see over 70%, 76% of claims come from the picking process. That's due to incorrect items and wrong quantities shipped, and approximately 10% of these claims come from loading. That means packages misplaced or loaded onto the wrong truck, and about 14% come from the delivery process. Packages get delivered to wrong customers or left on the truck. So we'll focus on picking. Far and away, the majority of claims come from the picking process, as we just saw. When we're working with customers, we encourage them to focus on the pick process. Picking accounts for about half of overall warehouse expenses. Errors increase labor costs and operating expenses. And these errors impact downstream processes, including shipping, credit, replenishment, etc. Picking directly impacts customer order quality, and a single picking error can offset an order, which starts this negative feedback loop. The customer is upset they received the wrong order. The item then has to come back to the distribution center, gets restocked, a claim is filed, and so forth. There's a lot of wasted energy, wasted labor that factors into fixing errors. The good news is technology options can improve the picking process. And we say that when choosing the right pick technology, there's really no one-size-fits-all answer. Your size, your budget, and the industries you serve should all factor into your decision. And the right match between picker and technology can help decrease employee learning curves, increase employee satisfaction, and reduce turnover. So let's talk about the different picking options. We look at 4 primary options in the vast majority of warehouses, include paper picking, the old go-to where the ERP starts, RF handhelds, voice picking, and scan picking, or we call hands-free scan picking. All right, paper picking. Let's talk about paper picking for a minute. The pros, or I should say paper picking, how it works, just introducing that. Warehouse ERP prints a list of items and quantities for each customer order. Pickers use paper and pencil to check off items as they are picked. And every order needs to be checked before loading. Paper is very common for small and mid-sized warehouses. As we just said, it's really the out-of-the-box solution for ERPs. We'll look at the pros and cons. The pros: low startup cost. A box of pencils costs about $5. It's simple to use and implement, and there's very low risk for implementation. The cons: very slow and labor intensive. Paper picking is subject to many picking errors. Package identification is a manual process. Pickers are required to write down data on the box, adding another opportunity for error. And additional staff is required to check orders, adding cost and time. Really, the checking labor adds zero value. If you had 100% confidence your picker would pick without these errors, that position is not even necessary. Quote here: when picking with paper, we had to double check our orders after they were picked. That's definitely more work and more people involved with picking. Just a real life example here. Quote from a distributor. The bottom line with paper picking's ease of use is negated by increased labor cost, increased errors, and increased customer claims. Paper relies heavily on the accuracy of the order pickers. Picker accuracy decreases as fatigue increases, so the longer your shifts, the more opportunity you have for errors. And again, each order must be checked after picking. Let's move on to RF handhelds. And you can see there, when we talk about RF handhelds, seeing a picture of a handheld device with a pistol grip. Some companies use a device that looks more like a cell phone. RF handhelds, how they work. So RF device displays a customer order, and picker picks the item and scans the product UPC code. The picker then needs to key in the quantity or accept the scan. And RFs are very common small to mid-sized warehouses looking for a paperless option with greater accuracy. The pros and cons to RF handhelds: the accuracy is going to be much greater than paper because you're using a product UPC verification, so each item is scanned. The cons: low pick rate, similar to paper picking. It's not hands-free. Package identification is a manual process. RF requires a wireless network and requires accurate item UPC codes. Really, with the RF, when we say it's similar to paper, the low pick rate, employees may be constantly fumbling the device. They're putting it down when they're picking an order. They might actually ship the RF device accidentally as part of a mispicked order. Still opportunities for error there. So the bottom line with RF, scanning increases accuracy but not productivity. Pickers do not have both hands free to work, impeding productivity. RF can easily be dropped and broken or run over by a forklift. And RF guns have also been accidentally packed with orders and shipped. RF factor low productivity with associated higher labor cost. Total cost of ownership is much greater than many companies realize because of the constant replenishment of those devices. Moving on to the third option here, voice picking. And how does it work? Pickers wear a headset with a microphone, a voice system that directs them to the bin location. And it's important to note it's the bin location, not a specific product, is really the focus with the voice pick. Pickers read the check digits printed on the bin label into the headset. The picker selects the product and fixes the pre-printed delivery label. The picker waits to be directed to the next location. And with voice picking, inconsistent scanning capabilities. Who uses it? Small to large warehouses with a WMS in place. Pros and cons of voice picking: you'll have a higher pick rate, improved accuracy over paper picking. It is hands-free and it is paperless. The cons: requires a fully implemented WMS system. There is no product UPC verification. And the opportunity for human error is there because the product is not actually being scanned. It's more about the location of the product. Onboarding for voice requires memorization of voice prompt commands. There are higher capital costs. It's technically challenging to implement and requires a wireless network throughout. Another quote here from Michael Jarboe, customer we know, general manager, Glidewell Distributing. We stopped picking with paper in the mid-2000s as it was a slow process and we needed people to double check orders. At that time, everyone was getting rid of paper to speed up production. When we switched to voice picking, we used fewer people to pull more orders. It cut quite a bit of time from our work shift. After using voice technology and continuing to suffer from mispicks, we decided to move to hands-free barcode scanning technology. The bottom line with voice picking increases accuracy and productivity when compared to paper picking. However, some of the inherent flaws can cause picking errors because pickers are simply looking for the bin and the system directed to them. The wrong item may still be picked if fulfillment stocked the wrong product in the bin. Many pickers memorize check digits, so they say the correct check digit, but still pick the wrong item. New selectors must memorize over 30 voice commands before they can pick orders, and proficiency in this can take several weeks. The voice system must be programmed and calibrated to match voice and dialects. In a loud environment, the picker might not be able to hear the commands in the headset, and the system might not be able to hear the callback and the responses. And voice requires a pre-printed package labels, which is less efficient than on-demand label printing. To our fourth option here, scan picking. As we see that the hands-free scan picking, employee wears a wrist-worn computer and has a ring scanner, which leads them to be hands-free. How does it work? Pickers wear a wrist computer with a ring scanner. The display screen directs pickers to the next assignment and bin location. And mobile printer travels with the printer, I should say with the picker, for real-time label printing. Scan picking is appropriate for small, mid-size, and large distribution centers that employ 3 to 75 order pickers. It's a scalable and very common type of technology. Some of the pros and cons. Pros of scan picking: it's fast and easy training. Scan picking is highly accurate due to UPC scanning, so the picker is actually scanning the item, not just going to the location as you would in voice. You're actually scanning the product item, leading to higher accuracy and higher pick rate. Scan picking offers robust real-time reporting for increased efficiency in customer inquiries. Typical ROI is less than 12 months, and implementation can be quick. And of course, scan picking is paperless. The cons: requires a wireless network throughout the warehouse, requires interface for transmission of data between the ERP and device, requires accurate product UPC codes. Important to note, wireless network is something that you need, whether it's voice or scan picking. For the technology, it's part of the process. And a quote: for scan picking, our voice picking system became outdated and needed replacement. Accuracy was the main driver for us to switch to PickRight several years ago. We researched our options and found that although productivity was equal to voice picking, improved accuracy was the biggest benefit with PickRight. I also like the real-time label printing, which helped us eliminate some of the delivery errors we were making. Most importantly, SAS's customer satisfaction rate improved from 83 to 94%. Internal score that they were keeping. That's Robert Palmer, Director of Distribution at S. Abraham and Sons. They're in Grand Rapids. They're a customer of ProCat. Bottom line with scan picking: hands-free barcode scanning technology is the most accurate and productive picking technology currently on the market. It offers 100% accuracy because the picker scans UPC codes. Package delivery labels print automatically. GS1 label barcode capabilities, and system captures every scan, serving as a foundation for a robust reporting suite and efficient operation. So I'd like to take a couple minutes to introduce you to PickRight. It's a hands-free barcode scanning technology. This is a picture of what it looks like. It's a wrist-worn computer. You can see the display screen that directs the picker to a bin location. It has announced voice capabilities in it, but most customers turn that off because it tends to be distracting. You can see the ring scanner that allows the employee to be hands-free. The screen gives them all the info they need to pick accurately. How PickRight works, it's a hands-free order picking solution. See the wrist computer that gets connected to the ring scanner. PickRight provides 99.9% pick accuracy based on product barcode scanning. Again, the key being the scan of the item itself. It was developed for the food distribution industry. Although effective for many different types of operations, it really specialized for the food distribution operation. PickRight handles touch weights, lot controls, temperature capture, recall reporting. And there's over 70 real-time reporting reports for management to use. It's real-time reporting that will help inform management and improve the operation. It offers a lot of accountability because you know where every item is and where every item is scanned. A little bit more about PickRight. It interfaces with the existing ERP to improve the picking process. We have several ERP integrations with some of the large ERPs, well-known ERPs that are out there. PickRight interfaces with those. Items on each customer order display on the wrist computer in the pick path sequence. Audible feedback with a chime for a correct pick or a buzz for an incorrect pick. So picker picks an item, you can hear that audible chime for a correct pick or a buzz for an incorrect pick. And the result is a virtually error-free and increased speed picking accuracy. Bit of before and after here. Here's a sample customer that implemented PickRight. Before implementing PickRight, customer had about 75 picking mistakes weekly. And we did the math here, 15 pickers in the operation, experienced about 75 picking mistakes per week, which is about typical. We see one mistake per picker per day. So when we're looking at 15 pickers times 5 mistakes, that's one mistake per week, 5 days a week. There's 75 mistakes. And most of the customer claims came from wrong items being picked. And each mistake costs on average of $100 by the time factored in for processing, losing the value of the product, etc. When you do the math, they were spending $390,000 annually to fix these mistakes. It's interesting to note that those mistakes are baked into the expenses. It wasn't anything that was single-handedly looked at, but when you actually factor in the cost of these mistakes, they really do add up. And after implementing PickRight, the operation experienced only 3 to 5 delivery errors per week, drastically reducing their customer claims. The accuracy was greatly improved, and operating expenses were reduced by over $350,000 annually. So a huge chunk of that wasted expense was actually recovered with the accurate picking accuracy. The quote here: all of our problems were creating a loss of credibility with customers, and there's no price tag on that. Needless to say, this company is a great reference for us. We've been working with them for quite a few years. So ProCat, a little bit more about our solutions beyond just PickRight. We do have mentioned over 14 modules that support different functions in the warehouse. Our core module is ReceiveRight, which handles customer, ensures the accuracy of your inbound freight. LoadRight, ShipRight, and CountRight. These are our core solutions that make up, are all built to work together to improve accuracy and capabilities inside your warehouse. Our StockRight module is our full WMS suite, and SetRight, ManageRight are more production level type modules, and PalRight and WayRight are very appropriate for the food service distributor. So if there's any questions, we'd be happy to take those. Angie, if we have anything, feel free to send those over.
Thanks, Tim. No questions have come through at this time, so we'll just kind of take a couple moments before we wrap up.
Okay. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this, and we'd like to talk. If there's any questions, we'd be thrilled to have the opportunity to do a one-on-one follow-up with you to talk about our solutions and how they can help your distribution center operate more efficiently, more productively, and more accurately. Give you the contact info here. You can reach Joe Doyle, our National Director of Sales. You see his contact info there. And we'd be more than happy to talk about how we can help your operation. Angie, if that does it on your end, that's all we have for you today.
Okay, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you, Tim, for presenting today, and for everyone on our webinar, or if you're watching on demand, we thank you for taking the time out to join us. You can view more of our upcoming webinars at inovia.com/events. And we do have another one coming up this afternoon with one of our partners, Lachesis. And they are going to be presenting on cybersecurity is not an IT problem. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's inovia.com/events. We do have new training workshops for you and your team members to attend. You can visit our training workshop page at inovia.com/workshops for more information and to register for the training workshop that fits your role. And don't forget about our Inovia Conversation podcast. We have a library of podcasts for you to listen to, and you can find out about all of those podcast selections, and you can subscribe so you'll get new episodes when they come out. And don't forget to check out our conference page. We have a list of all of our conferences that we will be attending or hosting, and that's inovia.com/conferences. We do have our fall or our spring conference on our website for you to go in and register. So be sure you do that. All right. Well, we thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you soon on another Inovia webinar. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.